Hey everybody, welcome to a quick shot on the Martinis with Scott channel. Coming to you today from a crappy hotel room in Dallas, going to a roofing show with one of our portfolio companies today. Looking forward to that, and then maybe we'll try and get a show done with that company, Roofers World. We did an episode earlier, but today this morning I'm just going to do a quick shot for you, and we're going to talk about. Well, let me tell you a story. I have a daughter. She's 6 years old, a young daughter, and for her whole life, she has had, or as long as I can remember anyway, she's had nightmares about monsters and ghosts and this sort of thing. She is the kid least likely on the face of the earth to have any problems whatsoever. She's got everything going for her, this girl, yet there she is having nightmares. And so as a father, as a parent, I did what I think almost everybody would do that is logical, is they would talk to their daughter and they would say, there are no such thing as monsters. You have nothing to be scared of. It's all going to be fine. And give her a big hug. And she would look at me like I was crazy. Did it help? No. Because you could tell she was thinking from the age of 2 or even 1, you tell me there's no monsters, but I'm definitely seeing monsters. So maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe there's something wrong with you. It wasn't working. So this went on for a few years. And then I heard, I think in a Jordan Peterson podcast, excuse me, that there sure as hell are monsters. And telling the child that there are no monsters isn't the way to go, because there's definitely monsters in their head. So better to help them with that. So what I started doing was turning the lights on and looking in the closet and looking under the bed and doing those sorts of things, and threatening the monsters on behalf of my daughter. And did that have any impact? Yeah, a little bit. It was better than denying that they exist, but it wasn't great. A couple of weeks ago, she had a nightmare and jumped into her parents' bed, and we talked about it in the morning. She said there was a monster, and sort of by mistake, but in retrospect it all makes sense. I asked her what the monster looked like, and she told me. I said, and I said, can you draw it for me? Let's draw the monster. And she said, sure. She loves to draw. I think in the normal course she'd say, let's confront this, let's write something about it. What are you scared of? But she loves to draw, and she's 6, she's not writing stories. So she drew a monster, and it was a real monster. It took up most of an 8.5 page, 8.5 by 11 page of paper. It had a lot of fur. It was green. It had 2 horns. It had teeth. It had big floppy ears. It had huge hands and huge feet. It looked a little bit like Estelle from Henry Hugglemonster, although it was green, not blue, and had horns. And she drew it, and it was a legit monster. But it took maybe 5 seconds. I wasn't expecting this, and she looked at it, and a little light went off in her head. You could just see it. And she said out loud, not even really to me, more to herself, she said, I think we're going to be friends. And that was that. We decided to name the monster. She came up with the name Fuzzy. She put it beside her bed, the picture that she had drawn. And when she went to bed last night, I said, say hi to Fuzzy for me. And she was excited to meet Fuzzy again in her dreams, which she did that night. She dreamed about Fuzzy, and she was happy. And she hasn't had a nightmare about monsters since, and it's been a few weeks. So I thought that was an amazing story. I was thinking about it yesterday, and it got me thinking about how is that relevant to troubled companies and to business management. And I don't know that it's directly relatable, but I think that it is. It is in the way that I approach management anyways, because I always tell my staff, when we walk into a troubled company and to turn around, it's never a secret. Everybody always knows what's wrong with the company. They just don't think it can be fixed. There's fear, there's hesitation, the decisions are too hard, and they don't jump in and start doing the things that they need to do. We don't need a consultant's report almost never. It is, everybody knows the answer, they're just not doing it. So let me give you a specific example. I've been firing people for 30 years. And you know, you can call that a layoff, you can call it a firing for cause, you can call it a just, you know, we can't afford to pay you anymore. There's all sorts of reasons. So I don't want to use firing as a harsh word, but bottom line is I've been firing people for 30 years, and not once in 30 years have I regretted doing that in retrospect. Often I'm angst about going in and getting the job done. Often I'll, you know, delay a day or two longer than I should have. But in hindsight, 100% of the time, my feeling and the emotion of it is, wow, I wish I'd done that 6 months ago. Never once have I said that, you know, I jumped the gun on that, or I shouldn't have let that person go. Never once. It's always a fear that stops you from doing the hard things more quickly and helping your business sooner rather than later. So, and you see that in troubled companies all the time. They just don't make that decision. So how, as a manager, can you overcome that? And my recipe, see if it works for you. My recipe is to attack both the logic and the emotion of it. The logic, I do myself a T-chart. So you draw a line on a piece of paper, line going down, because I'm an accountant. The left side are the pluses, the right side are the negatives. If you're having troubles dealing with this decision that you're trying to make, just write down the pros, write down the cons, and it's not so much about reading it after, but just the act of doing that helps you confront the issue that you're dealing with from a logical point of view. And on the emotion side, I like to say shake the box, but just change your frame of reference, right? This is not about, do I fire this person or not fire this person? This is about, can I make this person happier in the long term? Not today. They're obviously underperforming because something's wrong and it's a bad situation. Maybe they're a better fit somewhere else. Am I going to make the adult decision for them? They probably should have been leaving on their own account if it's an underperforming situation. Maybe it's a liquidity situation and you're in a troubled company, you can't afford to pay them anymore. Am I doing the right thing by dragging this out until I go bankrupt and they miss their payroll check for work that they legitimately done? That doesn't seem like the right thing to do. Maybe I'm doing the right thing by letting this person go now. Another thing that I have to think about regularly is, okay, I'm letting this one person go, but I'm saving the jobs of another 20 people over here because I've been cutting costs, and this is just something I absolutely need to do, or this company's going to go under and no one's going to have a job. In my career and at Sinclair Range, we define success by saving jobs. We don't define success by cutting costs and firing people, but sometimes you need to cut so you can save the core, right? And so that's a way to change your frame of reference to deal with the emotional side. And remember, this is my mantra anyways, is that the only bad decision is no decision. Don't delay. Face your fears, write them down, change your frame of reference so that you can make decisions easier and more quickly, and succeed and win at business, which is what Martinis with Scott is all about. Have a great day.